The entertainment world just witnessed something unprecedented. Two directing powerhouses, Steven Spielberg and Francis Lawrence, have allegedly launched a coordinated effort to distance themselves from rising star Rachel Zegler. People thought my whole trajectory was fake. And sometimes I wake up and I think my whole trajectory is fake. This isn't your typical Hollywood whisper campaign. Insiders are describing it as a deliberate years-in-the-making strategy to potentially end her career. The rumors about Zegler have circulated for years. Word on the street painted her as difficult, entitled, and disrespectful to industry veterans. But now, these legendary directors aren't just whispering anymore. They're reportedly speaking out through influential industry channels that actually matter. Studio executives, casting directors, and showrunners. Spielberg has allegedly branded her a set killer, while Lawrence supposedly considers her a director's nightmare. You don't get nervous, do you? I actually don't like who has been the most exciting person for you tonight. Oh my god. Besides, suddenly being blacklisted isn't just fan speculation. It's becoming the industry's favorite term when Zegler's name comes up. The situation has unleashed a torrent of leaks. Call logs, crew memos, and frantic text from producers reveal the behind-the-scenes chaos. The message being sent across Hollywood. Zegler wasn't just difficult. She was catastrophic for productions. The trouble reportedly began on day one with Spielberg. Despite working with countless actors from Tom Hanks to Meryl Streep, he immediately sensed something was off with Zegler. According to crew members, she wasn't just inexperienced, she was uncoachable and displayed unprecedented disrespect. On set, she allegedly challenged blocking notes mid-scene, complained about camera angles, and argued over line readings, even trying to improve dialogue written decades earlier. Reports claimed she rolled her eyes at lighting technicians and refused reshoots unless her creative input was honored. Spielberg, having worked with all types of personalities throughout his illustrious career, was reportedly most disturbed by her complete lack of humility. Sources say she treated the coveted role of Maria one countless actresses would have fought for, as if she were doing him a favor by showing up. The director initially kept his composure, taking notes and remaining silent. But when awards season arrived and Zegler's ego allegedly reached new heights, Spielberg reached his breaking point. Insiders claimed he made two quick calls to studio heads with a simple message, "Never again." Zegler in an Allure interview, she reportedly made pointed comments about old-school directors who can't handle strong women. The industry understood the subtext. She was talking about him. That moment, according to sources, is when she crossed a line no rising actress should ever cross. She didn't just lose Spielberg's support, she made him an adversary. Page 6 reported that after her comments went viral, casting executives began labeling her as high risk. Directors withdrew from projects and meetings were cancelled. The power of having someone of Spielberg's stature consider you toxic cannot be overstated. It's career devastating. There was no dramatic press release or scandal headline, but the silence became deafening. Hollywood has its own method of canceling someone, often quietly but effectively. Spielberg reportedly didn't tweet or rant to tabloids. Instead, he simply refused to work with her, signaling everyone else to follow suit. The consequences were swift. Her phone stopped ringing. Projects she was attached to collapsed. Her team began desperately pitching her for roles she once would have been pursued for. YouTube gossip channels started connecting the dots. Zegler wasn't taking time off. She was being frozen out of the industry. Meanwhile, the situation with Francis Lawrence was seemingly playing out in parallel. In 2023, on the icy, bleak Polish set of The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Lawrence was hoping to breathe new life into the Hunger Games universe. Instead, according to insiders, he encountered the same issues Spielberg had faced. From day one, Zegler allegedly walked on set acting as if she was the franchise itself. Sources claim she treated crew members like interns and demanded last-minute rewrites on scenes that had been locked for months. One report suggested she stormed off mid-shoot because she felt the camera angle wasn't feminine enough. Another insider revealed she refused to wear a signature Lucy Gay dress because it supposedly didn't align with her vision of modern femininity. 90s and music videos allowed the contestants to detour on the road, often messed with head-on conversations. Production assistants compared it to walking into a bomb shelter every morning, not knowing who she'd snap at. She reportedly rewrote multiple lines on the fly, forcing camera teams to reconfigure entire setups. What should have been efficient 10-hour filming days allegedly expanded into 14-16-hour marathons because Zegler wanted to debate the emotional realism of fictional song lyrics. Crew members who had worked on previous Hunger Games films like Mockingjay and Catching Fire supposedly nicknamed those weeks The Zone, a phrase now whispered like a horror story among younger filmmakers. Then came the critical response to her performance. EV magazine reportedly tore her Lucy Gay portrayal to shreds, calling it cringy, arrogant, and entirely miscast. Fans and critics alike rejected her performance, claiming she displayed no soul behind the eyes, just smirks and forced fragility. I think Rachel's Zegler was miscast. I'm not trying to be shady, but like she doesn't look happy. She's not really smiling. But the real blow came when Lawrence allegedly agreed with these assessments. According to leaks from Lionsgate boardrooms, the director flatly told executives, "I'll never babysit that attitude again." Coming from a franchise director who helped make Jennifer Lawrence a household name, this wasn't just a bad review. It was potentially career-ending. The situation reached a turning point in late 2024 with post-production finally wrapped. Instead of celebrating, Lawrence reportedly made a crucial phone call, not to the studio or PR team, but to someone who understood exactly what he'd been through, Steven Spielberg. Sources claimed the conversation wasn't long. Just a few minutes of venting. But what was said apparently constituted one of the most damning behind-the-scenes exchanges in recent Hollywood memory. The call wasn't meant to leak, but supposedly a grip who overheard it on speakerphone passed the exchange to a mid-tier YouTube commentator, from where it exploded across industry channels. During this call, Spielberg reportedly told Lawrence, "She weaponizes her image, but has no respect for the craft." Lawrence allegedly replied, "She acts like she's doing us a favor. Like she's the franchise, not part of it." They weren't just commiserating. Sources claim they were forming a pact, promising to warn others, friends, producers, agents, young directors, to protect your crews from the Zig effect. That phrase reportedly stuck and spread throughout the industry. Hollywood listens when men like Spielberg and Lawrence speak. Suddenly, Zegler's name allegedly triggered red flags at major studios. Warner, Universal, and even Paramount reportedly backed out of a minor streaming project when Spielberg's assistant advised it was not advisable. Just like that, her momentum apparently evaporated. Her representation reportedly panicked. Sources claim her manager sent a desperate mass email offering Zegler at a reduced rate for prestige indie projects and received nothing but silence in return. Because when two of Hollywood's most bankable, most respected directors tell people to stay away, the industry listens. Hollywood may love a comeback story, but it thrives on takedowns. And when that takedown has Spielberg and Lawrence backing it, it reportedly becomes gospel. Zegler wasn't just out of favor. Insiders described her as radioactive in the industry. Then came the Snow White debacle in March 2025. With a staggering budget of $350 million, the film opened to a disappointing $43 million domestically. Vanity Fair insiders reportedly pinned the failure on Zegler's continuous PR missteps. Disney allegedly conducted no red carpet events or junkets, too concerned she might criticize another classic or make controversial political statements that would further damage the film's reception. The box office failure reportedly eliminated her last bit of industry leverage. Social media claimed Disney had internally flagged her with a "do not hire" tag. According to sources, the two directors met over lunch last week. Not to plot revenge, but to compare notes on rebuilding sets, morale, budgets, everything Zegler had allegedly damaged. Both reportedly left agreeing on one point: if the studios won't protect crews, we will. Word spread rapidly throughout Hollywood. Agencies took notice. Casting directors became more selective. Zegler reportedly fired off a cryptic tweet reading, "Silence is violence," which was deleted 10 minutes later, but screenshots preserved it forever. The directors may have spoken quietly, but Hollywood heard their message loud and clear. What makes this situation particularly notable is how it revealed the inner workings of Hollywood power dynamics. While public cancel culture plays out on social media with hashtags and viral callouts, industry blacklisting happens through whisper networks, private phone calls, and lunch meetings. Two respected filmmakers allegedly used their considerable influence to send a message about professional behavior and respect for the craft. The fallout shows how quickly fortunes can change in Hollywood. Just months ago, Zegler was positioned as Disney's new princess and the fresh face of the Hunger Games prequel. Now, sources say her team is struggling to book even supporting roles in mid-budget projects. The lesson seems clear. Talent matters, but reputation determines longevity. Some industry observers point to the generational clash at play. Zegler reportedly brought a new school approach to sets, demanding creative input and challenging traditional power structures. Meanwhile, directors like Spielberg and Lawrence come from an era where actors were expected to trust the director's vision implicitly. When these worlds collided, the conflict was perhaps inevitable. Others see the situation as a cautionary tale about social media savvy versus on-set professionalism. Zegler built a following through outspoken interviews and progressive statements, but sources suggest she failed to balance this public persona with the collaborative skills essential for filmmaking. One anonymous producer reportedly commented that likes and retweets don't make movies. Teamwork does. What happens next remains uncertain. Hollywood loves both villains and redemption arcs. Some industry experts speculate this could be an opportunity for Zegler to rebuild from the ground up, taking smaller roles, proving her commitment and gradually earning back trust. Others believe the damage is too severe that when titans like Spielberg and Lawrence close doors, they stay closed. The situation has sparked broader conversations about power, accountability, and professionalism in post-Me Too Hollywood. While some view the director's actions as necessary boundary setting in an industry where bad behavior has too often been tolerated, others question whether male directors are holding female stars to unfair standards. Either way, the alleged blacklisting serves as a reminder of Hollywood's unwritten rules. Public personas may sell tickets, but behind-the-scenes behavior determines who gets hired. No amount of fan support can override a reputation for being difficult when decision-makers have other options. For young actors watching this unfold, the message seems to be that humility and collaboration matter as much as talent. Hollywood remains an apprenticeship industry where respect for experience is valued currency. Even in an era of social media influence and personal branding, the relationships formed on set still make or break careers. What truly distinguishes this situation is its public nature. Hollywood insiders have always known about informal blacklists, but rarely do they break into public consciousness so dramatically. The alleged coordination between two directors of this caliber, making their concerns known not just to each other, but throughout their extensive networks, represents an unusual and powerful statement about professional boundaries. As the industry continues to evolve, balancing creative expression with professional conduct becomes increasingly complex. This situation highlights the tension between new expectations of creative agency and traditional hierarchies.